What if I told you guys that there was a player who is still on the open market? This player has a career wins above replacement of 31.2. Last season, he had a WAR of 4.4. He has a career batting average of 240. Last season, he hit 240. He has a career 155 home runs. Last year, he hit 17. He has a career 790 OPS. Last year, it was 755. He has a career 117 OPS plus. Last year, 108. He has a career 329 on base percentage. Last year, 330. He has a career 461 slugging. Last year, 424. Who is this player, you might be asking? Who is this player who also, in addition to being above average offensively, every single year of his career, he has never had an OPS plus below 100. So every single year he's been above average offensively. He's never had an OPS below 716. That was his worst OPS. He's still only 31 years old. And he's won 4 Gold Glove awards and been to an All-Star game and been in top 10 in MVP voting twice. Plays really good defense. He has hit over 30 doubles 3 times in his career. He has a career total of 191 doubles, averages 36 a season, and averages 29 home runs in a 162-game average. Who is this player? You might be asking yourself. Or if you might already know, this player, of course, is Matt Chapman. And Matt Chapman has been the subject of a lot of debate, especially from Mariners fans. Why? Well, because a lot of Mariners fans don't think we should sign Matt Chapman, and a lot of Mariners fans do think we should sign Matt Chapman. Why don't we look at his Baseball Savant page? If you guys know me, you know that I love Baseball Savant. In 2023, Matt Chapman, batting run value was fine, 42 percentile, base running 53, and fielding at 69. His sprint speed ranked at 80th percentile, his fielding, arm strength, 80 percentile, and his range, outs above average, 87th percentile. So he's fast and plays good defense. Well, how about the hitting? That's what we all want to know, right? Let's get this out of the way first. Matt Chapman does strike out quite a bit. He's the 18th percentile in whiff and K percentage. That's bad. His expected batting average last year was 230. That's 16th percentile. But here's the numbers that stand out. Expected WOBA, 65th percentile. Expected slugging, 71. Walk percentage, 78. Chase percentage, 94th percentile. Average exit velocity, 98th percentile. Barrel percentage, also 98th percentile. And hard hit percentage, 100th percentile. This guy was in the 100th percentile in hard hit percentage. So if you guys are counting, he is bright red in 4 categories offensively, and all 3 categories for fielding and running. He is red in 3 more categories. He is blue in 1 category, and he is light blue, which is bad, in 3 categories. Does that sound like a good player to you? It sounds like a good player to me. I don't know. If you really care about strikeouts, sure. Maybe you can tell me he's a bad player. But if you want to talk about strikeouts, we can go over some of the other players on this team because we're still going to have quite a few strikeouts on this roster. I hate to tell you that. Luke Raley, Mitch Haniger come to mind, even Jorge Polanco. Also, by the way, that last year was one of his better years in strikeout percentage, so maybe he's getting better. Because before that, his strikeout percentage was even worse. Last year was his career high in strikeout percentage. What if I also told you that this player, if he played all of his games in T-Mobile Park, would actually have hit 8 more home runs than he did last year? Sounds exciting, right? Sounds enticing. But if you listen to Locked On Mariners podcast, you would think that Matt Chapman was the worst player in the MLB because they hate Matt Chapman, and they would be telling the Mariners not to sign him. They would be telling the Mariners to save their money on somebody apparently who's better than Matt Chapman. I don't know who that player is. And if you think that the only way you're getting Matt Chapman is to sign him to a long-term deal, and that's why you're opposed, then I think you should think again. Because look at what Cody Bellinger just signed for. It's a 3-year deal, but it's essentially a 1-year deal because he can opt out after next year. So, yeah, you're right. If Matt Chapman says, I'm only taking 6 years or more, then yes, you're right. I wouldn't sign him for 6 years because he's 31 and he's maybe going to decline. But if you can sign Matt Chapman for a 2 or 3 year prove-it deal with an opt-out after year 1, similar to what Bellinger just did, and they have the same agent. Remember, Scott Boras, same exact agent as Matt Chapman. If you can sign Matt Chapman to a 2 or 3 year prove-it contract and let him opt out after year 1 if he succeeds, I see no reason why not to do it. But Levi, Matt Chapman's overrated. Maybe he is overrated, but he's better than Josh Rojas. And the guy on the screen, the guy in the picture, Luis Urias, is already hurt. He's already hurt. So one of your third basemen's already down. Matt Chapman's available. He makes the team better. 4.4 wins above replacement is nothing to laugh at. But Locked On Mariners would laugh at you if you suggested even the possibility of signing Matt Chapman. Locked On Mariners would call you an idiot. They might even do what they did to me and block you on Twitter. Locked On Mariners and the Mariners fans who don't want to sign Matt Chapman, I have a very simple question to pose for you. Do you want the team to get better? Do you want the team to be as good as it possibly can? The argument against signing Matt Chapman, I don't think it exists. To say that he's declining, sure, maybe he's declining. He's not necessarily getting MVP votes anymore. He's still a 4.4 win player. But apparently that doesn't matter to them. He's still a player who has never had a below average season offensively. Well, 108's not that good. 108, that's 8% better than league average with great defense. Yeah, I'll take that. It's better than Suarez. Better than Rojas would give you. It's better than Mr. Injury over here, Luis Urias, will give you. The only argument against signing Matt Chapman to a short-term deal is John Stanton can't afford it. And you know what? Sure, I'll give you that. John Stanton's a freaking cheapo, and he doesn't want the team to get better because he doesn't want to spend more money. But I'm not saying, I'm not talking about this from a John Stanton perspective. I'm saying from a team perspective. If you are trying to really, truly be the best team that you can be in 2024, Matt Chapman makes you better. He does. He improves the roster. But Levi, he's going to take at-bats away from Ryan Bliss. Yeah, I love Ryan Bliss. I'm actually really high on Ryan Bliss. Also, I'd rather have a guy who has a 4.4 WAR, a 31 career WAR, who has proven it multiple seasons that he can play. I'd rather have him than Ryan Bliss, who I think will be good, but I don't know that he'll be good. At worst, Matt Chapman is going to give you 2 WAR. At best, he could give you 5. Like, these are his WAR totals from every season of his career. 3.2, 7.6, 7.8, 1.2, that's his worst. And that was in 2020. He only played 37 games. So in a full season, that would have been like 5. 2021, 3.5, 2022, 3.5, and then 2023, 4.4. His 162 game average WAR is 5.8. There's no precedent that he has set for being a bad player. And yet, people will try to convince you that he's a bad player and that we shouldn't sign him, that he's a scrub, that he's overrated, overvalued. I don't care. I legitimately do not care. I want to make the team better in whatever way possible, so I think we should sign Matt Chapman. And if you disagree, I would invite you to tell me why in the comments. Articulate not from a financial standpoint. I don't want to hear he's too expensive, because he's too expensive shouldn't be an argument when your team, the Mariners, has the 17th or whatever it is, 17th, 16th highest payroll in all of baseball. We are below budget that we were from last year. We actually have $2 million less on the payroll than we did at this time last year. So the idea that he's too expensive, that is only an idea that applies if you're John Stanton. I understand the reason we are not going to sign him is because John Stanton's just too cheap to do it because he's a freaking Scrooge McDuck. But I'm interested in hearing a baseball reason why not to sign Matt Chapman. I want to know what signing him, how does that make the team worse? Why does that not make the team better? Because there's people who legitimately, I think, who they legitimately believe that Matt Chapman makes the team worse. It makes no sense to me. And it makes me question, A, their knowledge of baseball. It does. Like, I legitimately questioning Locked On Mariners' knowledge of baseball when they say that this player who has never had a bad season, and yet they say they're not even at all interested in him. Like, that makes no sense to me. I want to hear the baseball reason. Give me the statistical argument. Give me the baseball argument. Why should we not sign him to exactly the same deal the Cubs signed Cody Bellinger to? It would be the same type of deal, not the same exact expense, because Bellinger's obviously more valuable. So Bellinger got 3 years, $80 million. How about Chapman for 3 years, $60 million? I would do that in a heartbeat. Even 65, I'd probably do. And I'm saying, don't give me a financial reason. Give me the baseball reason why that's a bad move. I'm interested to hear it. And if you guys give me a good reason, I'll invite you onto the show to talk about it. I will. Because I think this is a conversation that's really interesting and exciting. But I also think that, personally, I see no reason why not to sign Matt Chapman. That's my take. And this is the NW Sportscast. If you like what you see, if you like what you hear, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hit the notification bell. And if you don't like what you see, don't like what you hear, and think that I'm just a hater, I don't know who I'm hating. I guess I'm hating on what? I'm hating on Luis Urias for being injured, But sorry, no, I'm a lover. I'm a lover of Matt Chapman. And I guess, am I a hater of Locked On Mariners? I'm not a hater. I think they make some good points. I think they make good points quite often. But they all, they did block me on Twitter, so I don't know. And they blocked me because of this Matt Chapman argument. So, interesting. But yeah, with that being said, go Mariners. Yeah, go Mariners.